So as you know, this is what we're gonna see today. Namaste all you fragrant people, and welcome to Om Incense Show with DJ, a show that helps you increase your incense quotient. So if you are an incense enthusiast, consider subscribing. So we have yet another incense from SHROFF Incenses. This is what the pack looks like. It's like every other SHROFF incense. It says Sandal Flora Premium Hand Rolled Incense Sticks. It's a very minimalistic packaging, very simple, just like other SHROFF incense packs. And it is 105 rupees for 25 grams. That's what we get. This is what we have. Now what we get inside is this butter paper pouch, like every other SHROFF incense, and plain butter paper, nice pouch that we have here. This is what we have inside the main pack. What we get inside are these 9-inch incense sticks, which are like which are red in color, and it's like rust kind of a red, rust red kind of a color, and like you can see in the picture, and the bamboo core is dual colored, so it's red and beige, and going by its length, it's going to be there for around 45 minutes or so, because even though they say that this is a Flora incense, what we can see clearly that it looks more like a dipped incense. Even though the undulations say that it's hand rolled, it is hand rolled, and we do not have any kind of masala as such on this, but yeah, we do feel dry on the top like every other dipped incense. So this is somewhat like a dipped incense. I don't know what is the concept, because I really thought Flora incense would be more like a sticky kind of an incense, which has more of a masala on top and stuff like that, because most of the Flora incenses that I have come across are like that, and but this is not like that. So this is what we have. So this is not going to be there for around an hour like every other incense. This will be around 45 minutes or so. That's what this will be used for. And you know what, the fragrance that you get from this is, there is that note of sandal, but what I can more prominently pick up from the incense is a little bit of a katha kind of smell, that brown color thing that you put in pan. If you ever smelled the solid slab of it, it has a peculiar smell, so I can get that, and also a little bit of that sweet betel nut smell, so even that is there. So it's like a medley of these three notes that you can get in the top note of the incense when the incense is not lit, in the cold incense. Yeah, so that's what I can get. But you know what, together they come across as a nice fresh woody fragrance, probably because of that sweet betel nut smell that's there, because it does smell fresh. It has some kind of menthol or something in it, which makes it smell fresh. So that's what we get from the top note. And it does have a kind of a sacred smell that most sandal incenses have, so this does have that. When we light up the incense, you do get the sandal note, but the other notes, the katha note and the sweet betel nut note, because the sweetness is not there in the smoke, you do not get it in the when the incense comes to life. It was there in the cold note, not here. What you get is a sandal fragrance, so more like a dry sandalwood kind of a fragrance. So there are other notes of sandalwood, like sandalwood paste or probably sandalwood soap, but this is more like a dry sandalwood fragrance. So when the incense comes to life, all the other nuances that were there in the top note is not there, and the only thing you can smell is sandalwood, but it somehow doesn't come across as sandalwood when you want to take a take a whiff of it like that. But if it's lit up somewhere, you would be able to make out that it's a sandalwood incense, because the sandalwood fragrance is quite prominent, in its diffusion. So that's the kind of fragrance we have in this. If we talk of intensity, the intensity is really mild, so it's like around 3 or so. So it's like one of those incenses which will be silently lit up somewhere. It's not going to ask you to take note of it. It's not going to make its presence felt. It will grow on you as and when you are in that surrounding. As the incense, when you share that space, you will get to know that there's an incense lit up somewhere, which is like a nice mild incense, which is like really mild and subtle and silent. And it's like very frail bodied, very sophisticated, just lying there around somewhere, not doing anything to you, not asking anything, and not asking for anything. And that's what the smell is like. It's like really mild and just around there. If we talk of diffusion, the diffusion was to a large area, but because the intensity is really low, the diffusion, it was like you could smell it, but then it was more of a vibe. So the diffusion, the incense, the fragrance bubble wasn't large. It wasn't to my entire house. I could just get the smell in one room, and even in that, as you went away from the incense, the incense fragrance was like a real frail kind of a silent kind of an incense, where you could just get the vibe of the incense but not the fragrance as such. The incense bubble is fragrance bubble is small, and you get most of the incense fragrance nearer to the incense, because of course the intensity is really less. So that's the kind of fragrance this is. However, this is a really good one for people who like mild fragrance, who want to light up an incense just for the heck of it, because you have to light up an incense while we are doing puja, and you do not want something which is going to stick around, it's going to invite a lot of attention, or something that is really going to hit your head and just make its presence violently, presence to just make its presence felt out there. So if you like that kind of fragrance, you would like this. If we talk of retention, the retention of course also wasn't for a very long time. The retention must have been for around 3 hours or so. So active retention for around an hour, and passive retention for around 2 hours after the incense has been through. So not a lot of this fragrance is not going to stick around for long. So if you like that kind of incense, where you light up the incense and you are done with it in a few hours, this is going to be a good one. And like I said, it's a mild incense with least intensity, and with a very little intensity and least diffusion and least retention. If you like that kind of incense, and still if you want a sandalwood incense, because it does give a feel of sandalwood around you, so if you want to get a sandalwood incense with these traits, then you might just want to go for this. And like I said, you might want to check this at scentingsecrets.com. the discount code is DJ7. Just get this if you like those mild incenses. I like the incense, but one thing I don't like is this red color. I do not like colored incenses, so I don't like that. But anyway, I mean, it's not a big deal, because I remember Balaji Chandan also was the same color. Awesome smell. And so what happens is with this and when they say Flora, I was expecting the Flora fragrance, which is like more dark and thick and heavy, and it stays there for a long time. It has a huge fragrance bubble. You'll have neighbors coming in asking which fragrance is this. So when they say Sandal Flora, I was actually expecting the Flora fragrance, but this to me did not come across as Flora. If you have used this incense, and if let us know what has your experience been with this, if you find it different from other floras, because this certainly is different from other floras to me. And so this was a nice incense, but because I do not want to buy it again, and to me this was actually too mild for my taste. But even though I like the sandalwood fragrance, I would like to give it a star rating of 3. So that's Sandal Flora, SHROFF Incense Sandal Flora, with a star rating of 3. But if you are somebody who's looking for a sandalwood incense with really mild fragrance with low intensity, and something which will be done just when you're done with the puja or whatever you purposes you lit it for, you would definitely want to go for this, because this really does have a sandalwood, the dry sandalwood fragrance feel to it. So that's SHROFF Incense Sandal Flora. That was the episode that we had today. Now the quiz that we had last time was, which tree do we get amber resin from? So amber, like all of us know, it's a fossilized resin, and nobody actually knows which tree it came from, because the resins date back to around 50-60 million years ago, and they say that, you know, those were trees during the Neolithic period, and which got submerged, and you know, you get those resins. However, there's a film around the amber, the fossil, the resin, which gives a feel of pine when it's lit up. So many people believe that it's from the pine tree. However, nobody really knows which tree it was from. So if you know anything more about this, please write this in the comment section and let us know what other things you know about the fossil, the amber resin. Muthuramanji answered the quiz and he said pine. So somewhat could be true, because pine also gives out resins like this, and because it smells of pine, so it could belong to pine as well. So that's the quiz that we had last time. Now the quiz that we have today is, what is Coleus aromaticus? That's a Latin name of some shrub which is used for many reasons. So you might just want to go check out what is Coleus aromaticus and let us know what the common name or the English name for it is, or the Hindi name, you can say that also. So just let us know that. So that was the quiz that we had today. I hope you enjoyed this episode and you learned something from it. If you think somebody would want this incense, share this episode with them. If you think somebody will like the review, you might just want to share it with them too. And if you liked it, give it a like. This is Dolly Jha here, and I thank you so much for watching this episode. Till we meet again next day, very good care of yourself. Namaste.